Hello everyone, Basic here, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another GT Sport video. So today, we are taking on the second hardest track in the world. This thing has claimed so many lives and caused so many accidents, it's unreal. This place of course is the Nordschleife combined with the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, which altogether, added together, makes the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit, which is just massively difficult and so big. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Ollie, what the hell is more difficult than this? This is surely the most difficult circuit in the world. Well, feast your eyes on this. Oh yes, the bane of everyone's life on Gran Turismo 3, the trial circuit. Absolutely the worst track ever. Ever. And if you disagree with me on that one, I don't know what to tell you. It's just hell on earth. It really is designed to test your patience with this game so much. But never mind, that was back in 2001. This is 2020 now, so things have upgraded ever so slightly. The graphics are just a little bit better. So let's see if we can go around this Nürburgring 24-hour circuit. And let's see what we can do. Now my weapon of choice today is the Volkswagen Beetle, or as I like to call it, the Yeetle. This circuit, as we all know, is incredibly difficult to get right. It's almost impossible to get a perfect lap time around here. I don't think anyone can do it, even the best, purely because it's just so much to remember. You got, I think it's like 12 miles, 13 miles a lap, so to nail every apex and braking point is just almost impossible. So we go through the first point here quite well actually, and then through the second corner you've got to keep it as tight as you possibly can, because otherwise you're just going to go out wide. If you put the power down too early, you are susceptible to the rear end just stepping out in these different powered cars, just like the Supra and the Aston Martin here. The reason I chose the Yeetle is because it's very good at the rear end, very stable, which when you're pushing as hard as you can in a top rated lobby like this, top split, you really do have to concentrate for a long time, and you don't want to have to worry about the rear end stepping out so much. And as you guys know, if you've been around to support me on this channel, you do know that I do like a stable rear end, which is probably my quote of the day so far, a stable rear end. But yeah, it's so important. So as we are halfway through the Grand Prix circuit now of this race, you can see these two guys are fighting up ahead, and I'm looking to take advantage. So I go over to the left hand side, I get the slipstream of the German up ahead. It just means I can just get my rear end just in front of the car behind me, Mario here, and I just managed to fight around the outside as well. Managed to keep the slipstream of the German ahead again, and it's just going to pull me along ever so slightly past this guy, and I've said ever so slightly again. I'm trying my best not to say that. Ignore that bit, please. Anyways, braking well after the cones. Just ignore the cones on that exit. You go through the chicane. Much better chicane there. Everyone much prefers that to the Grand Prix circuit. Mario has a little sneaky look up the inside, but that's never going to work. It's too far back. Braking after the barrier on the right hand side, keeping it nice and tight to the left. Going all the way down to the first part of the Nordschleife here. Really fun flowing part of the track, but the circuit is thin here, so you've got to be careful. If you do touch the grass at any point, you are going to be in big trouble. As you can see, the German goes slightly wide there. I'm just going to try and take this first up a little bit cautiously and not make too many mistakes in this race. If you do not make any mistakes, I can guarantee you're going to end up in a good finishing position. And this lobby, if you've seen, is so highly rated. So it's just full of A+ and SS rated players. So I felt quite privileged in a way to be racing in this lobby, and yeah, even though I started P10, even with a qualifying time of 8:13, which by the way I thought was really good, as the German goes wide here. I'm going to slow it down. I just managed to react somehow I managed to avoid him, go over the curb on the left hand side and managed to overtake him, which was really sweet. I love that move. I was really happy with that, and I slowed it right down. He just about made it. Unfortunately, the guy behind me, NRC, has got a half-second penalty for going off the circuit. Rightly so, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. You know, he did go wide, and that's enough. He lost the time, and he lost the position to me. But maybe the way he came back on the track was a little bit questionable. But again, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, this downhill section then, going swooping up and then over to the left-hand side. Again, this track is so awesome. It's so cool. Hitting the curb on the left, making sure the car doesn't get too unstable by attacking it too much. You just want to clip it. You don't want to do anything more than that. Getting two wheels up on the right-hand curb here, just so when you go and exit the corner, nice and smooth, power out, lovely stuff. It's exactly what you want. To race around this place is just absolutely awesome. It's just a shame you can never nail it. Now, a Dilster here, unfortunately, as quick as he is, he's one of the best. He really is a very, very quick Brit. I don't think there's many other Brits out there that can match him. Unfortunately, makes a big mistake, which I think we're all susceptible to. The Nürburgring is, it's so easy to make a mistake. So he goes off there, but he drops down to P8 or P9, I believe. But you're going to see the pace of this guy. It doesn't take him long to catch up, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can keep him behind him. So I've got a few guys up here, P6, 5 and P4. We've had a very good start to this race already. So we started in P10, we gained 3 places, which around the Nordschleife is really good. The track is so thin, so to overtake it here, there's not many overtaking opportunities at all. So if you see one, you've got to grasp it. You really, really do. And it's very easy to knock your opponent off the track, and it will give you a penalty. So this track then, if you do eventually get yourself a penalty, which, let's be honest, is there's quite a good chance of it. You can see there's 2 guys behind me have already got penalties as well. The penalty line is on the massive back straight, and it is an absolute killer because you've got to serve that penalty, and then down that whole straight you just lose in time. Half-second penalty can easily cost you 2 seconds. A second or 2 second penalty, it's a game changer. Literally, it's heartbreak. It really, really is. Okay, over to the right-hand side there. Don't touch the curb if you can avoid it. Braking just after the cones as the curb starts to form on the left-hand side. Keep it tight on the inside. It's just so difficult, guys. I can commentate over, the Nordschleife and trying to explain to you what you can do to get a good lap time, but it's so hard. Right, going for the first carousel. This one, you've got to take it slow. If you go too quick, you're going to go over the bump. You're going to go out wide, and then it's just so hard to get back in the centre of the carousel, or the inside, sorry. And yeah, you just lose time. So try and take your time through those. We can see another mistake by Augustin there. He's got a half-second penalty for his waves as well. So we're now up to P6. So we've gone from P7 to P6. So that's 4 positions gained now. So you can see I've made no mistakes. Just driving smoothly here, going as fast as I possibly can. Going through this section here, by far my slowest part of this circuit, but it's so much fun. It's so fast and slow, and there's so many negative camber. You go up and down, the change in trajectory is just absolutely wicked. I'll hold my hands up though, I do need to improve around this section. It's one of my weaknesses, there's no doubt about that. Over to the left hand side, it's one of those corners, again, you don't really see it until you're there. On this one as well, as you power it, you can stick to the right hand side. 2 wheels over the curb there I found is my preference. But yeah, so going through this fast section once more, you take air there. You actually take air and then you brake once you've actually landed on the floor again. There's no need to brake at the cones, it's absolutely rubbish. The only thing I would say in this video or in this race, I kind of wish I'd turned the cones off. Now I do keep the cones on for you guys so you can see breaker points, that difference between myself and the actual cones itself, but in this one there's just so many bloody cones. There's so many. Because I suppose because the track is so long, there's so many different apexes. Absolutely yeet that one out of the way because I'm fed up of seeing it. You've got to be careful because you can hit them and you do actually lose quite a lot of speed. Because I've noticed, second carousel, nicely done. I do notice that if you do hit the cones or there's one flying in the air and it hits you, it can actually drop you like by 2-3 miles per hour, which is a little bit frustrating. So over to the left hand side for this last corner before the long straight, and then going over to the right and then powering out again. All about smooth exits, guys, as you go on the straight. Now this is where Dilster comes into play here, and it literally has got 999 IQ. So you can see he's behind me on the left hand side. Now I'm thinking to myself, why isn't he slipstreaming? What's the point? And it's not until he actually goes back in my slipstream I kind of have like a light bulb moment, and it just kind of clicks in my head. If he went behind me straight away on that straight, he'll get the slipstream, but by the time he overtakes me, I'll then be able to retaliate, get the slipstream again, and I'll be able to overtake him. But because he's very good on this game and he knows what he's doing, he goes over and he waits and he then overtakes me. But at this point, as he overtakes me, his internet connection just falls out of its own arse, and you can see he's all over the place. Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever you race against someone and their connection is appalling, it's very hard because you're so worried about going into the back of them. You think you have, but then the connection kind of reconnects again, and then you're nowhere near him. So like at this point here, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, I've gone into the back of him, here comes a penalty. But I never actually do, which is a little bit bizarre. So my objective now for lap 2, because there's only 2 laps in this race, alright guys, so it's no stop, hard tyres, is to try and stay with Dilster. So we managed to get back on the Nordschleife again, and I'm quite happy. But there's something that happens here, I'm not quite why, as you can see, I just get out of the slipstream range, so it's 3/4 of a second for anyone who doesn't know. So as soon as I dropped out of that, I was in big trouble. big trouble. So I'm going to go through this section. I'm going to try and catch up with him. Now, I couldn't really read his lines too much because his connection was, well, let's not mess about here. It was absolutely woeful. And I really tried to attack this section, but I went too quick in there, and I had to brake, and I lost like 2 or 3 attempts. And that was the attempt over, to be honest with you, which is a little bit of a shame. I would love to have caught up with him. But thankfully, the GT gods on this game were smiling down at me a little bit here. So as we go through this uphill section, and you take air there again, awesome. Flow into the right-hand corner, so difficult, and it's so easy to not brake enough and then just go out wide like the German did on my first lap, and it will cost you a substantial amount of time. Absolutely substantial. So going down this massive straight here, the Nordschleife actually has more straights than you kind of forget. Power cars really are. Ones with like high top end really do make the difference here. I'm nice and smooth through this right-hander. Awesome negative cam, but I go way wide there, and that does cost me. So we're going to go downhill, and then uphill, and then over to the left-hand side. I've driven this circuit so much now, regardless of the minimap, I kind of know where I am, which if you know where you are at this point, you think to yourself, Christ, you really have been going around this circuit for far too long. But yeah, so it's not going to be too long until you're going to see what happens here, and I do manage to get my P6 back. But yeah, you can see Dilster, yeah, just makes a big mistake. But the main thing is, he's one of the fastest guys. I mean, it's not like he's got a website or anything like that. Oh dear. I was going to say it's a good thing he hasn't got a website where he actually teaches people to drive quicker, but he does. Never mind, Dilster. It's all banter, mate. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We all know you're really good, so don't worry about it, mate. So I'll leave a description to his website in the description down below if you are interested. And he will teach you how to race fast. He really will. He's top quality driver. But I thought I'd have a little bit of banter with him there because it's not very often he makes 2 mistakes like that. But there you go, guys. That's the end of that race. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did as well. Just to give you an example of sometimes it is best just to pick a car that you are comfortable with. And if you don't make mistakes, you will make places, even in a rated lobby like this. So, a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed. If you like the video, please like. And, I got messed up that bit there. And, yeah, thank you to all the members. You've literally changing my life in a moment. I know it sounds cheesy, it is, but you really are. So, thank you very much. And I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take care. Ta-da.